Have you ever wondered if there is something beyond what you can see, touch, or measure? Jacobo Grinberg, a pioneer in the study of consciousness, came to the conclusion that reality is much deeper than what we perceive with the naked eye. For him, seeing reality in its entirety required something more than the five senses. It required learning to think in an expanded dimension in 4 dimensions. Today, I want to invite you to explore that hidden reality that surrounds us, a reality that goes beyond the 3rd dimension, beyond what time and space seem to show us. Learning to think in 4 dimensions is like opening a door to an invisible world that has always been there, but that few manage to see. At the end of this video, you will understand how this change in perception can transform your life. We live in a 3-dimensional reality where space and time seem to govern everything we do. However, there is evidence that there is something beyond these limitations. The experiences of deep meditation, moments of insight, and dreams that show us the future are some of the examples of a reality that seems to be in another dimension. It is a dimension in which the invisible and the visible meet, one in which time is not a line straight, but something much more flexible to understand. How can we think in 4 dimensions? We must start by seeing life in a different way. In daily life, we move in a physical and linear space. However, when we begin to delve deeper into our consciousness, we realize that the rules change. Time is no longer a straight line, but a set of connected spaces that we can explore. Just like when we read a book where all the pages exist simultaneously. Even if we only read one at a time, the multidimensional reality contains all moments, although we only perceive one at a time. If time and space are more flexible than we think, then the way we desire and project our thoughts can have a real effect on the world. Our desires are like a magnetic force that connects us to the reality we want to experience. But not all desires have the same power. Those that are born from a deep intention of a sincere connection with our essence are the ones that can truly transcend the barriers of time and space. When your desires are authentic and aligned with a greater purpose, they become doorways into that 4th dimension. Think of those desires as guides that help you navigate the game of life, showing you that really matters. The key here is not just wanting something, but wanting it from a place of kindness and personal growth. These desires not only move you forward in 3-dimensional reality, but they also activate dimensions of reality that until now were hidden. This process of connecting with your deepest desires is in itself a way of seeing the invisible, because those true desires are like signs coming from a higher dimension, guiding you towards your authentic path. Meditation is a powerful tool to begin to see beyond physical limits. When we meditate, we stop identifying exclusively with the body and time. We become aware that we are much more than our thoughts or emotions. We connect with a reality where there are no barriers of time and space, where we can see the past and the future as a continuity. There are people who through meditation have experienced visions of events that have not yet occurred in the physical plane. This ability to see future events suggests that somewhere in that 4th dimension, time is not a limit, but a perspective that can be expanded or reduced. This could mean that our life on Earth follows a pattern or a plan, a path that already exists in some dimension beyond of the physical, and that we as conscious observers can access it and change it. It is in meditation where you can feel this multi-dimensional reality in a direct way. When you reach that deep state where your mind becomes still and your breathing slows down, you begin to perceive a vastness in which events, people, and places exist in a much more interconnected way than you could imagine. In that state of expanded consciousness, you begin to see the invisible connections between your desires, your thoughts, and the reality you live. If you wish to see the invisible, you need to learn to detach yourself from the limitations of your ego, the ego, that part of us that only cares about the self in space and time, is anchored in 3-dimensional reality for the ego. Everything is linear and limited. However, when you realize that you are more than your personal identity, that you are an expanding consciousness, you can begin to access higher dimensions. Detaching yourself from the ego does not mean forgetting who you are, but observing your life from a broader perspective. It is as if you had the ability to see yourself from the outside, to see the role you play in the universe. When you manage to see your life from this broader perspective, the ego's desires dissolve and give way to deeper, more authentic desires that are born from your connection to the whole. This shift in perspective helps you understand that physical reality is just one layer of a much more complex universe and opens the door to experiencing other dimensions of existence. To begin to see the invisible, one of the most effective methods is conscious visualization. Visualizing is not simply imagining something superficially, it is creating an image so vivid and real in your mind that it begins to resonate with the energy of what you wish to experience. In a certain sense, conscious visualization allows you to project yourself into that fourth dimension where time and space do not limit the reality that you can create. Conscious visualization involves building a detailed image of what you desire in your mind as if it were already happening in the present moment. This means activating all of your senses, not only seeing, but also feeling, hearing, and perceiving that experience in every detail. This level of focus sends a powerful signal to the dimension of possibilities, allowing that vision to begin to manifest in your life. A simple exercise is to imagine a specific desire, for example, an ideal situation in your life. Close your eyes, and in a state of deep relaxation, allow that image come to life. Visualize every detail, not as something that is about to happen, but as something that is already part of your reality. This process not only strengthens your connection with that reality, but also aligns your thoughts and emotions, creating a vibration that attracts what you visualize. Once you understand how to visualize, feel, and meditate to connect with the fourth dimension, it is time to apply these concepts in your daily life. Integrating four-dimensional consciousness into your day-to-day means starting to live with an expanded perception, understanding that you are the creator of your reality in every moment. When you practice this type of thinking, you stop seeing obstacles as definitive barriers, and you begin to perceive them as moving pieces in a bigger game. This shift in perspective allows you to see solutions that previously seemed invisible and access an internal source of confidence, as if you always knew you were in the right place at the right time. A simple practice is to bring this expanded perception into your daily decisions every time you face a challenging or important situation. Close your eyes and connect with that fourth dimension. Visualize the outcome you desire and allow the feeling of having already been achieved to guide you. This practice not only helps you find clarity, but also aligns your decisions with your deepest desires, accelerating their manifestation. Your intuition is the most direct tool you have to receive information from the fourth dimension. We often think of intuition as just a baseless hunch, but in reality, it is in perception that goes beyond logic, connecting you with a deep and multidimensional wisdom. This wisdom is free from the limitations of time and space and can provide you with the clarity you need in times of uncertainty. When you start to trust your intuition, it is as if you are receiving signals from a higher dimension, guiding you towards the best path for your growth and well-being. To strengthen your intuition, practice listening to yourself without interference from the analytical mind. Take a few minutes each day to ask yourself, what is best for me at this moment? And allow the answer to emerge without judging it over time. You will notice that your intuition becomes stronger and helps you see the invisible, guiding you to make decisions aligned with your purpose. Working from a four-dimensional perspective involves learning to have patience and trust in the process. Manifestation in an expanded dimension does not always happen immediately. It takes time to align and materialize into reality. Three-dimensional patience is key to keeping your frequency high and avoiding anxiety, which can disrupt the flow of energy and create resistance whenever you feel frustrated because you don't see immediate results. Remember that you are sowing seeds in fertile ground that is beyond linear time. Allow your desires to mature and develop in this dimension of the invisible. Over time, you will see those seeds become tangible experiences in your life. Remember, when you work from the fourth dimension, speed is not the goal. The goal is authenticity and alignment with what you truly desire. The most important truth I want to convey to you is that you are the creator of your reality. Every thought, every emotion, and every intention that you hold in your mind are essential components of the reality that you experience. By learning to think in four dimensions, you understand that your life is a work in constant creation, a dance between the seen and the unseen that you can mold at will. This inner power is always available to you, waiting for you to consciously connect with it the next time you find yourself doubting your ability to achieve something. Remember, you are so much more than a three-dimensional being trapped in the limitations of time and space. You are an expanded consciousness capable of seeing the invisible and creating from higher dimensions. Start living each day as a conscious creator, choosing with intention each thought and each emotion. With this constant practice, you will see how the world around you begins to reflect the clarity and abundance that you have cultivated within to finish. I want to invite you to make a commitment to yourself. Commit to living with expanded consciousness, to think in four dimensions, and to trust in the power that lies in the invisible. The reality that you experience is an extension of your interior. And when you decide to see beyond physical limitations, the world transforms to reflect your vision. For my part, I can only thank you on behalf of the entire team for your company and wish you all the best in the world until we meet again. And of course, if you are not yet part of this family, we have space for you. If you want to expand your consciousness, you are welcome. See you soon. Stay awake.